Everyone wants to be happy. It's the goal of life, the pursuit that drives every action, every decision, every dream. But here's the question no one dares to ask. If happiness is so natural, why do so few people ever find it? Schopenhauer believed the answer was simple. Because happiness itself is an illusion. A trick of the mind. A fleeting moment that disappears the second we try to hold on to it. The more we chase it, the further it slips from our grasp. And yet, there are people who seem genuinely happy. People who live without worry, without struggle, without the weight of the world on their shoulders. But they all have something in common. They are not the thinkers. They are not the philosophers. They are not the ones who see reality for what it truly is. Because the moment you start questioning happiness, the moment you start thinking about it, it's already gone. The fool doesn't question. The fool doesn't analyze. The fool simply exists, and in doing so, finds the happiness that the wise will never know. So why does awareness lead to misery? Why do those who understand life the most seem to suffer the deepest? And if happiness is a lie, is there anything left worth chasing? Let's find out. Happiness is the great deception. From the moment we are born, we are taught that life has a purpose, to seek joy, fulfillment, and lasting satisfaction. Yet, the more we chase it, the more it escapes us. Schopenhauer argued that this is because happiness is not real in the way we imagine it. It is not a destination, not a permanent state, but a fleeting moment, a brief absence of suffering before the cycle begins again. At the core of this illusion is desire. We convince ourselves that happiness will come with the next achievement, the next possession, the next experience. But once we attain what we crave, the feeling is momentary. The mind, restless by nature, immediately begins searching for the next thing, the next goal, the next escape. And in doing so, it guarantees that we are never truly satisfied. The mistake is confusing pleasure with contentment. Pleasure is temporary. It exists in the rush of excitement, the thrill of success, the comfort of luxury, but it always fades. True contentment, on the other hand, is rare. It requires an acceptance of life as it is, without the constant hunger for more. And yet most people will never reach this state because they are trapped in the endless pursuit of something that does not exist. Schopenhauer saw this pursuit as the very source of human suffering. The more we expect happiness, the more we are disappointed by its absence. The wiser a person becomes, the more they see through the lie. But the fool never questions it at all. And in that ignorance, they find the very thing the rest of us spend our lives searching for. To see clearly is to suffer. The more one understands the world, the more one sees the chaos, the impermanence, the inevitable decline of all things. Schopenhauer believed that intelligence, far from being a gift, is often a curse, because it reveals too much. Those who think deeply cannot help but notice the futility of existence, the fragile nature of happiness, and the inescapable reality of suffering. Ignorance, on the other hand, is a shield. Those who do not question simply accept life as it is. They move from moment to moment without the weight of existential dread pressing down on them. They do not dwell on meaning, mortality, or the temporary nature of joy. They live in a world of simple pleasures, oblivious to the deeper truths that burden the minds of philosophers and thinkers. Schopenhauer saw a direct link between knowledge and dissatisfaction. The greater one's awareness, the harder it is to enjoy life's fleeting pleasures. A fool enjoys a beautiful day without considering how many remain. A child laughs without questioning the purpose of life. But the wise see the transience of every moment. They know that happiness is brief, that time is merciless, that everything they love will one day be lost. It is no coincidence that the happiest people tend to be those who never stop to ask why. Thought breeds discontent. Awareness leads to disappointment. And wisdom, for all its virtues, comes at the cost of peace. In the end, those who understand life the most are doomed to suffer at the deepest, while the fools, blind to its tragedies, walk through it untroubled. The happiest people are often the least reflective. They wake up, go about their day, and live without questioning the deeper meaning of their existence. To Schopenhauer, this was no accident. Simplicity is a natural defense against suffering. Those who do not think deeply do not burden themselves with unanswerable questions. They are content with life as it is, rather than tormented by what it could be. Limited awareness acts as a shield. The less one knows, the less one has to worry about. The complexities of existence, mortality, purpose, suffering, never trouble those who never stop to consider them. Instead, their minds are occupied with routine, distraction, and surface-level pleasures. Work, social interactions, and entertainment keep them engaged, preventing them from dwelling on the nature of reality. Schopenhauer recognized that most people instinctively avoid deep thinking. They fill their lives with noise, endless activity, trivial conversations, and fleeting pleasures, because silence invites thought, and thought invites suffering. This is why solitude is unsettling for many. Left alone with their own minds, they risk encountering truths they would rather ignore. This is not to say that fools never experience pain, only that they recover from it faster. Without overanalyzing or philosophizing, they move on quickly, distracted by the next event, the next pleasure, the next day. In contrast, those who think too much cannot escape their own awareness. They see too deeply, reflect too much, and in doing so, lose the ability to enjoy life as it is. The irony is clear. Happiness does not require wisdom, but the absence of it. Those who know the least often live the fullest, while those who understand the most find themselves trapped in their own minds. Happiness always seems just out of reach. One achievement away, one possession away, one perfect moment away. But no matter how much we obtain, the feeling never lasts. Schopenhauer believed this was because desire itself is the source of all suffering. We are trapped in a cycle of wanting, attaining, and immediately wanting more. The chase never ends, and with it comes endless disappointment. The moment we fulfill a desire, its power vanishes. The excitement of success fades, the joy of a new possession dulls, and what once seemed essential quickly becomes ordinary. Instead of satisfaction, we are left with a new craving, a new goal, a new hunger. The mind is restless, always convinced that the next thing will finally bring lasting contentment, but it never does. Schopenhauer saw this cycle as the fundamental flaw of human nature. We are wired to seek, but never to be satisfied. Even those who achieve great wealth, status, or pleasure soon find themselves longing for something more. The pursuit itself becomes exhausting, yet stopping feels impossible. The only escape, Schopenhauer argued, is detachment from desire. Instead of chasing fleeting pleasures, one must learn to step back, to see desire for what it truly is, an illusion that leads nowhere. This does not mean rejecting all experiences, but rather freeing oneself from the belief that fulfillment lies in the next achievement. Most people never realize this. They remain trapped, endlessly searching, endlessly disappointed. But those who do, they stop running, and in that stillness, they find something deeper than happiness, a kind of peace that desire can never provide. If desire is the root of suffering, then the only way to find peace is to let go. Schopenhauer believed that true contentment comes not from acquiring more, but from wanting less. The fewer desires we have, the fewer disappointments we face. A life free from endless craving is a life free from unnecessary pain. Most people live in constant anticipation, waiting for something to make them happy, expecting life to unfold in a way that suits them. But expectations breed frustration. When things don't go as planned, suffering follows. Schopenhauer argued that the key to inner peace is expecting nothing and accepting everything. The more we resist reality, the more it hurts us. But when we detach, when we stop insisting that life must be a certain way, we finally free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means seeing life clearly without clinging to illusions. It means understanding that happiness, as most people define it, is fleeting and unreliable. Instead of chasing it, we learn to find stability in simplicity, presence, and acceptance. Ironically, fools achieve this without effort. They do not think deeply enough to question their own expectations. They do not wrestle with existential dread or analyze the nature of suffering. Their ignorance protects them. They simply accept life as it comes, never pausing to wonder if it could be different. And because they do not expect more, they are never disappointed. For the wise, detachment is a discipline, an intentional rejection of false promises. For the fool, it is instinctual, a natural state of being. In both cases, the result is the same: freedom from suffering, while the rest of the world remains trapped in the cycle of desire. At some point, every deep thinker faces a choice: see reality as it is and suffer, or embrace illusion and remain content. Schopenhauer believed that happiness and truth rarely coexist. The more one understands life, the harder it becomes to enjoy it. The fool finds joy effortlessly because they never question, never analyze, never see beyond the surface. But for those who think, who reflect, who seek meaning, happiness is far more elusive. This is the paradox of awareness. To be truly conscious is to recognize the fleeting nature of joy, the inevitability of suffering, the emptiness of material success. It is to understand that most happiness is built on illusion, a distraction from the deeper realities of life. And yet for many, ignorance is not an option. Once the truth is seen, it cannot be unseen. So if happiness is a lie, what is left? Schopenhauer's answer was detachment, acceptance, and meaning beyond pleasure. Rather than chasing happiness, the wise seek tranquility, a life not free from suffering, but free from the illusion that suffering should not exist. They replace fleeting joys with inner stability, trading the highs and lows of desire for the quiet contentment of expectationless living. This raises the final question: is happiness even worth chasing? If it is temporary, if it is dependent on ignorance, is it truly valuable? Schopenhauer's philosophy suggests that the pursuit itself is flawed, that peace, rather than happiness, is the only goal worth striving for. In the end, the fool may laugh more, but the wise will see more. The cost of truth is happiness, but the reward is clarity. And for some, clarity is worth everything.